Well, hello, I'm Stephen M. Have you ever used one of these? This is the Smart Sprinkler Controller. This is the Imolaza ET Master Controller. And if you haven't, you're in the right place because today I'm going to show you how to use this. I'm going to show you how easy it is to install, and I'm going to show you how it can save you money on your watering. So let's go. Okay, this is the Imolaza Smart Sprinkler Controller that we're going to install and test today. And I got to tell you, I really like how this thing comes with a nice information packet on how to hook this up, how to hook the Wi-Fi. And there's a look at the unit. Now you may have a hard time seeing it, but all these are well marked right up here on where these go. So these are the 4 lines that actually is 8 lines that this one can attach from your landscape. By the way, if you haven't seen the first video on how to install the Rachio controller, in that video I show you where these lines come from and how they work with your valves. So please go see that video. I'll put the description, I'll put that link, in the description below. So the only other things that come with this unit is the power pack, and they even give you some screws and a little screwdriver to attach it to the wall. So very nice. Okay, as you open up your old controller, you're going to see these little wires here. Okay, each one of these wires is coming from one of my valves, or going to one of my valves. So these wires operate that valve. This is the front yard drip, this is the backyard drip, and this is the backyard sprinklers for the lawn. And this is the common wire right here, the white one. So the hookup's going to be very easy on the new one. The white's going to go on the common, and I'm going to hook 1, 2, 3 up to 1, 2, 3 on the new controller, and that's all there is to it. So again, if you want to see how these work with your valves, go look at that other video. I'll put the link in the description below. So now we're going to pull this one off, and we're going to put the new one on. When you put yours on there, make sure you get it as low as you can to the wires so you can hide as much as possible on the bottom part here. You don't want it sitting up here and your wires down here. That's not going to look very nice. So put it down as low as you can to your wires when you mount it. And that way you can hide as much of this as possible. So now I'm just going to tack this into place, and then I'm going to put my wires in. Okay, now that we got the unit tacked in place, we're going to put our wires in now to connect the wires. So we have a common connection here, and then we have 1 through 8 here for our valve wires. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect the white to the common, and then I'm going to connect my valve wires. Now for this unit here, what you do is you use a provided screwdriver and you back out the screw, and then you stick the wire in and you tighten down the screw and it grabs onto the wire. Pretty simple hookup. So I'm going to do the other wires, and then we'll be ready to plug the unit in. Okay, now that we have our wires connected, simple process. This whole process has taken me about 7 or 8 minutes to put this on, to take the old wires off and put this on. So it's really an easy installation process. And I must say the directions for this unit are really, really good. I really like them. So what we're going to do now is we're going to plug the unit in, and then the next step is we got to get and download the app, and pretty much everything is configured from the app. But right now we'll start the process by plugging it in. Okay, now that we got the Wi-Fi working, and it tells you, it gives different visual indications of what it's doing. So once the blue is like that, slowly blinking, that means it's got the Wi-Fi, it's set. Now we're going to continue to set up the zones in the apps. Now I'm just going to put that magnetic face plate on there like that, and we're good to go right now. It does have manual dials that you can start and do programs with, but the app is certainly the easiest way to do this. The only time I use these hand dials is when the Wi-Fi or the internet's down and I absolutely have to water. Okay, so once you have the unit installed, then it's just configuring the unit in the app, which is really easy. You just go to install, and it'll walk you through the setup of the unit, where you have to hook up the Wi-Fi. And by the way, this only uses 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi like most controllers. And once the controller's set up, then you're going to be asked to start setting up your zones. Now the zones relate to each of the valves that you have. So where I had 3 wires hooked up, those are 3 zones that I'll have in this program here, and I'll have to tell it what type of zone it is. So you're going to walk through the zones and it's going to ask you questions. And this is where you want to take your time and really set it up right. Is it grass? Is it perennials? Is it bushes? So it needs to know all this information so it can do the best job watering for you. So you'll set up all the zones. And when that's through, you can see my zones here. I have 3 zones. I have the backwater grass, the front drip, and the backwater drip. Then from the zones, what you're going to do is you're going to create schedules. And the schedule is when it's going to run water to these zones. And I recommend that you use the most smart available setting on the controller. On this one, it's the ET Smart Schedule. And let it figure out how much to water and when to water. I mean, if you're doing this manually, there's no sense in having a smart controller, but that's what these things are for. So set it to the ET Smart Schedule. Let it figure when it needs to water. If it's raining, it's not going to water. If it's been wet, it's not going to water. And what I suggest is that you watch it and adjust it if necessary. I find that there's always some small adjustments needed, no matter what controller I've used. So keep an eye on it, but use that smart schedule. It's going to save water, and in the end, it's going to save you money, and that's good for everybody. So my final comments is I like this controller. It looks really nice. I really was surprised how nice it looks and how easy it was to set up. It comes with a lot of useful features. The app is really easy to use, and I'm going to keep testing it and letting you know what I find with it. So thank you for being here today. I appreciate you, and please hit the like button and please subscribe to the channel. So that's it for me. Happy watering, and I'll see you next time on the next video. Take care.